Hello, and welcome to Money Talks with me, Alfred Joyner, and IB Times UK expert financial columnist Edmund Shing. Today, Ed, we're going to talk about the big four UK banks. That's Barclays, Lloyds, RBS and HSBC, and the trouble they've got themselves in over the recent years. They've been caught up in a series of mis-selling scandals, including PPI. Just how much have they paid out so far for these misdemeanours?
Yeah, well, it's funny you should say that, Alfred. I mean, huge numbers is the answer. If you look at PPI claims alone, between the claims and the compensation claims and the insurance, they've probably paid out £26 billion so far, and the bill's not finished. In total, they've paid in fines and compensation £42 billion over the last 5 years. So, I mean, incomprehensible amounts of money.
And is this scandal finally behind them?
No, that's the worst part. No, PPI seems to rumble on. The FCA, which is the financial regulator for the city, has set a time limit on PPI claims now for 2018. So that still means there's best part of 2.5 years for people to lodge a claim. And the expectation is that there will be a rush of new claims, or even of claims that were wrongfully rejected that will be reapplied for in the next 2 years. And that could be anything as much as £10 billion over the next 2 years. So that's a lot of money. Standard & Poor's actually think that in total, UK banks, the big four, will pay a total of compensation and fines of £19 billion between the four of them over the next 2 years.
And is this bad news for investors in the banks?
Actually, probably not, Alfred. I would argue rather the opposite. In the article, I do argue it's good news because it gives some finality. Because even if the PPI number that still has to be paid out does come up to anything like £10 billion. It is, of course, a huge amount of money, but that is sort of budgeted for already. We already know that that was coming. People are not fooling themselves about it. What's more important is that we finally get an end date. After 2018, it's over. There are no more claims. We can finally put a lid on this problem. So actually, for investors, that's good news rather than bad news.
And of course, there was big news of one of the UK banks in Lloyds, with the government announcing selling off its 12% stake, at least £2 billion worth of shares. Is this something that you'd recommend buying into?
You know what, Alfred? I probably wouldn't. But I mean, to recap, this is the final 12%, i.e. the government already sold off the rest of their holding in Lloyds, and so they're finally getting rid of the last bit. And that's been quite a success. The government has actually made some money. As far as shareholders go, or new investors go, I would say out of the big four banks, that's not the most obvious bank, because the discount to the current share price that the government is willing to give you is probably going to be fairly small. I would prefer HSBC instead, because it's a very big global bank, very clear agent focus, and more importantly, cost cutting is going to improve profitability. Add to that, you have a great income, a yield of over 6%. So as a shareholder, you can expect to receive 6% plus of the value of your shareholding in terms of a cash dividend every year.
Well, for our latest business news, go to our website, ibtimes.co.uk.